everybody, my name's Anamon Klendor, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And this is the last time I'm doing that kind of intro. At least for this year. I'm gonna be coming back to the Five Nights at Freddy's games next year. I'm gonna do Sister Location next year around Halloween, as well as Security Breach Ruin, DLC. Not going to be doing that this year, but I'll do the Ruin DLC next year, and I'll probably play FNAF VR as well. I'll play a little bit of FNAF VR as well. So, I mean, I do plan on playing a few more Five Nights at Freddy's games. But this is going to be the last of the FNAF games that I play this year, other than continuing Security Breach, which I do plan on continuing throughout the month. I do plan on continuing that throughout the month of November. Same thing with finishing up my playthrough of Sonic Frontiers and continuing my playthrough of Hogwarts Legacy. I'm really hoping to do all of that in November. I'm really hoping to finish all three of those games in November, so that in December I can start my 50th game, the final Senran Kagura game that it has been released for the PS4. That's my plan. So, I'm probably going to end up starting with Sonic Frontiers, seeing as how I've already started the New Game Plus run. So I'm probably going to continue on with that and get that finished throughout the course of next week. I'll probably finish that up completely throughout next week. And then the week after that I will start doing more Security Breach. I'll start playing more Security Breach. I'll get to the end. I do intend to get to the end of the game and get at least 3 endings. The Escape ending, the Vanny ending, and the Princess Quest ending are the 3 that I want to go for. 2 of them are super easy. You get them just by getting to the end of the game. The Princess Quest ending is technically the true ending of the game because that leads into Ruin. So, those 3. So, those 3 endings are the ones that I'm going to go for. If I am able to go for the 2 of the other endings, the basement ending and the rooftop ending, if I'm able to go for those, then I will. But I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm not going to stress myself out over it. But I do plan on once I'm done with that, I will, or maybe I'll play more Hogwarts Legacy as I'm playing Security Breach, because I know Security Breach can get pretty frustrating. Some of the segments can be very frustrating, so maybe whenever I get to one of those frustrating segments, if I need a break from the game, I'll play some Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I am very much hoping to have all 3 of those games done by the end of November, or at the very least, the halfway point of December, at the very latest. That way I can spend the last couple weeks of December focusing on the last Senran Kagura game. And if Senran Kagura ends up... I will 100% start the Senran Kagura game in December. But if it ends up bleeding into January, that's fine, because I don't really have much planned for January, other than a couple theory videos that I've been meaning to put up for a while. And I also need to finish off the Still Hyped for Sonic Frontiers playlist. I need to make like 2 more videos, like 2 or 3 more videos to wrap up that whole playlist. But yeah. So you might be wondering why I'm just talking, rambling on instead of playing the game. And that's because this game, no joke, yesterday when I did part 1 and I had to suddenly abruptly stop, I was actually having a panic attack there. I was legitimately having a panic attack. My breathing was becoming very sporadic. Sometimes I would be breathing very quickly, very quickly or very hard. Sometimes it would be difficult for me to breathe at all. It was very unpleasant. Everything was spinning. My vision was going blurry. It was scary. Like, it was very, very scary. It was not pleasant in the slightest. This game, I love watching people play it. I have never been good at it. I've only ever made it past night 1. I have never once made it past night 2. And going into this game yesterday reminded me why. I was wondering, well, it's been a few years, maybe I've gotten better at it. No, it has nothing to do with skill. It has everything to do with my heart cannot handle this game. Like, if I'm watching someone else play it, that's fine. I can handle that. But when I'm actually playing it myself, my heart can't handle it. I had an actual heart attack at one point when I played this game way back when. This game gave me an actual heart attack. And that, like, I know that if I keep going, if I keep pushing, that is a very real possibility that has a very real possibility of happening again. And I am scared. That's what scares me the most, is the fact that I do have an obligation to try at least a couple more times, because that's what people come to see. But at the same time, I am scared. I am legit scared for my life. I am legit scared for my life, because I hate it. Everyone who knows me knows I hate scary games. I can handle a scary movie and not flinch once. I can watch an entire scary movie and never once even flinch. In fact, instead, I'm that one guy who can go into a horror film that he's never seen and 100% accurately predict everything that's going to happen in the film, because 90% of horror films are pretty much the exact same when it comes to when the jump scares happen, when the fake outs happen, when the deaths happen, when the scary monster suddenly shows its face when it was looming in the darkness. I'm able to accurately predict pretty much everything in a horror film. When it comes to a horror game, it's different. With a horror film, there's a safety net. You know you are watching a 2-hour film. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You are not in control of the character's actions. You are watching characters on a screen make stupid decisions. So there is a level of safety. There is a safety net there, because you know you yourself are not in any immediate danger. With horror games, it's different, because you are in control of the character. Everything you do can mean the difference between life and death in the game. Yes, you are playing a character, so you yourself are not in actual danger, but here's the thing. I don't know what the actual name for this is, but when I play a game, I really get into it, and I get so incredibly immersed, and I let myself feel like I'm actually in the game. I allow myself to feel like I'm actually in the game. Like it's me doing all of these cool things. That is what it feels like, especially if it's a first-person experience. That is especially true if it's a first-person experience. That's why Slime Rancher is one of my favorite games of all time. Slime Rancher is like my third favorite game of all time. I absolutely adore Slime Rancher. I've played over 150 hours of it on my channel. And I just feel so immersed in that world. And I feel like what Beatrix LeBeau does in that game, it feels like that's my accomplishment. I'm the one who did that. I accomplished that. It's me on that ranch. It's me taking care of my slimy babies. It's me exploring the world and fighting tars. And the same can be said for horror games. When I play a horror game, it feels like I am the one being hunted by the monster. I am the one whose life is on the line. And that causes a level of terror that nothing else can produce. Now, I don't normally mind. I don't mind being scared. If a horror film can successfully scare me, then I will have a extremely high opinion of that horror film because it managed to do something that was unexpected. But with a horror game, I'm going into this knowing I am going to be terrified for my life. It's not something where I go in and it suddenly surprises me by scaring me out of nowhere. No, I'm already going in with a preconceived notion of I am in danger. My life is in danger. And that's just simply because I get so engrossed in whatever game I'm playing at the time. That is how deeply engrossed I get into it. So playing a game like this, and like I played on my channel earlier to make this exact point, Outlast. I tried that. I was cowering throughout the whole thing. I didn't even want to take one step into that mansion. It took me a good 20 minutes just to get inside the mansion because I kept hesitating. Because that's just how scared I was. That's how genuinely terrified I was. And this, again, I'm stalling. I don't want to continue because I'm terrified for my own health. Even Outlast was not able to give me this level of fear. I was terrified when I played Outlast, but I wasn't afraid that I was going to die. I am here. This game has given me the fear of death. I am terrified that I will have a heart attack if I continue playing. Genuinely terrified. So, with that said, we are 15 minutes into this video. And to be honest, I don't want to do anymore. I really don't. this is just me talking. This whole video is just going to be me talking. It's just going to be me talking. So if you're expecting gameplay from this video, click off. Just click off, please, because there's not going to be any gameplay. This is all you have to look at for the whole video. And I do apologize for that. But I do want to give my final thoughts on not just FNAF 4, but the first 4 games in general, as a whole. Because these 4 games is what I loved playing when they first came out. The first 3 more so than this one. I enjoyed my attempts at FNAF 4 until I had that heart attack. After that, I couldn't keep playing FNAF 4 for my own health. But the animatronics for FNAF 4 are the most terrifying the animatronics have ever been. They have never been this scary before or since. No, none of the animatronics in any of the games before or since or after this were nearly as scary as the Nightmare animatronics. The Nightmare animatronics are by far the scariest iterations of these characters. And that is an impressive feat in and of itself. The story of FNAF 4 and explaining the crying child and the bite of 83, that is really cool. I really liked that. That's awesome. And then we're seeing the origins of Michael. Michael Afton, the big brother who was bullying his little brother. We're seeing his origins, and that's so. We're seeing his origins and how he would eventually go on to become. He would eventually go on to be the very same guy that we play as in the first 3 games. He's the very same guy we play as in the first 3 games. The security guard from the first 3 games. And that's cool. That's awesome. And who we're also playing as in Sister Location. That's great. I love the story and the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. And this brought so much attention to the lore and the story. This one and FNAF 3. This one especially, though. Even to this day, there are still things that people are theorizing about for this game. For the first 3 games, pretty much everybody has kind of come to this general consensus of what's going on in the first 3 games. This one, there are still things in this game that people question to this day. And that is so cool. I really love that. I think that that is awesome. As far as how it compares to the other games, as far as the first 4 games, just the first 4, personally, I would say the third one is probably my favorite of the first 4 games. Not only because it's the easiest of the 4 games, so it's the easiest to jump into and start with for beginners, but also because I really love the gimmick of Springtrap. I love how you have to try your best to keep him away, try to do your best to keep him away from you and not let him go through the vents. And also, you have to learn exactly where the phantoms spawn in and what cameras to avoid in order to avoid them. And even then, sometimes some of them can still cause you trouble. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And my second favorite would be the first. Would honestly be the first one. There's just something really special about that first game and the kind of dread, not necessarily terror, but the kind of dread that you feel. You know that you know the animatronics are coming for you, and it's just a matter of when. When are they going to come? When are they going to come for you? And will you be able to react fast enough to keep them from entering? Will you have enough power? All these uncertainties. And so there's a level of like stress that's in that first game that is just, but it's like it is very manageable. It's stress, but it's manageable stress. This one would be my third favorite of the first four for the story and the designs of the animatronics, which are just phenomenal. They are designed incredibly. And then there's FNAF 2, which is my least favorite of all of the first four FNAF games, because where the first game was manageable stress, the second game is just stress. It's just extreme stress. Nothing but stress. It is very difficult, and it's just not fun. It's just stressful. The whole thing is just incredibly stressful. It's not really scary, it's just super stressful. So, the third game isn't even really that scary outside of the Phantom animatronics, but once you learn what cameras they're at, you can quite easily avoid 90% of those, aside from Foxy and Freddy. For Foxy, there's no real good way to get rid of him when he's in your office. He's just gonna stay there for a while, and by the time he finally goes away, Springtrap will have already made his way to your office. So there's not a good way to get rid of him once he arrives. You're better off just letting him pounce you, so you can just reboot everything. And for Freddy, it's just a matter of waiting for him to slump off screen, and then you're good. So there aren't that many scares in FNAF 3 or FNAF 2. FNAF 1, you only get... I love the way it's handled in FNAF 1, where the fear comes from the uncertainty. You're uncertain if you're going to have enough power, you're uncertain of where they're coming from, you're uncertain of when they're going to be at your door. You're uncertain of how much time you have before Foxy comes out to play. You're uncertain of when Freddy is going to strike. There's a lot of uncertainties with the first game, and that is where the tension and the fear is built up. And the only scares are from the jump scares, and that's from you not being able to react fast enough. So that definitely does. That definitely does it the best of the first four. But this one is by far the scariest out of all of them. Just pure terror. Absolute pure terror on all fronts. So, I mean, if I were to rate them, I don't normally rate games. I normally just kind of like give my opinion of whether or not I would suggest it to people or not. But if I were to rate them, I would rate the first game an 8 out of 10. Solid game, very fun. Really enjoy it. I still enjoy going back to the first one a lot. The second one, 6 out of 10. It's okay. It's just super stressful. The third one, I would give the third one an 8 out of 10 as well. That one's really fun. Easy game to jump into for a beginner. Someone who hasn't played a FNAF game, they can easily jump into the third one and have a fun time with it. And then the fourth one, 7 out of 10. And the 7 is for the story and the animatronics. And the only reason it's not higher is because it's giving me a heart attack and a panic attack now. So, yeah. But that's going to do it for this video. I'm 25 minutes. I'm at 25 minutes. I've spent 25 minutes just chatting. This is as long as the first part was, and honestly, that's okay with me. So, that's going to do it for here, for this video, and for this series. Thank you so much for watching. I am very sorry that I can't continue playing this more. I hope you guys understand. I truly am very sorry, and I hope you guys can forgive me. I can't take the risk. I can't take the risk. I'm sorry. But in any case, I'm not even going to do my normal outro, because I don't deserve to do that outro when I haven't really done anything in this video. So, I'll see you all next time for some more Sonic Frontiers New Game Plus. Alright. Take care, everyone.